What is up, guys? It is Scumpy here, and I'm bringing you guys another MOAB tip gameplay. And today it's going to be on Interchange. But let me start off this video with saying that the first and only way that I die is complete bullshit. And it's coming up here soon. I think I thought I hit him with a bunch of bullets, but apparently I didn't. And he just absolutely runs through me with a P90. Here it is right here. I don't understand that, but let's get into the tips. So I want to review the 3 general tips that I went over on my dome video that some of you might have not have seen because apparently it didn't show in a lot of people's sub boxes. So if you haven't seen that yet, check it out. But we're going to start with general tip number 1. Silencers are your friend. People in public matches, they just run to your red dot on the mini-map. So I prefer using a silencer on every single weapon just to make sure that I'm safe from the noobs that are just going to run to me and try and revenge kill me every time that they kill me. Or every time that I kill them, sorry. General tip number 2. You don't need dead silence. Especially on a map like this, they're not going to be listening for your footsteps. You're going to be aiming in around a lot of corners down these long alleyways. You're not going to need dead silence because, as you guys probably know, while you're aimed in, it doesn't even matter. Your footsteps aren't going to be heard whether you have dead silence or not. General tip number 3. Stick to the outside of the map. That tip is so important on this map especially. The middle is pretty much a death trap on this map. If you run in the middle of the map, you're bound to get shot from somewhere. There's usually at least one person from the enemy team always watching it, so just stay around the outsides of the map. I added a new general tip, and that's use your stun grenades wisely. And if you guys don't use stun grenades, you should definitely put them on your classes. Just throwing a stun, if you throw a stun down a long alleyway and you get a hit marker, then you know someone's there. It's just, I really use them just to check myself to make sure that I'm not going to get shot turning the corner rapidly and there's somebody going to be sitting there that I didn't know about. But let's get into some of the interchange tips that I came up with. Number 1, never run through the middle of the map. As I said earlier, I can't stress this enough. If you run through the middle of the map and you're going for MOABs on this map, you're going to continuously die from corners and from people that are just camping the middle of the map, so don't do it. Stalker is ridiculously helpful on this map, especially whenever you're using the ACR. Whenever you're shooting down these long alleyways, it's really hard for them to hit you when you're using Stalker because you're really just sidestepping like all of their bullets. So I really recommend you guys use Stalker on this map. Interchange tip number 3. Although I really love my UMP, my MP7, and my PP9, I'm gonna have to say use an assault rifle on this map. The ACR is probably the best, but you could use an AK. You could even use a SCAR. I've been liking that on this map a lot. But just I wouldn't use an SMG, but it's really up to you guys. But here I get my MOAB, and as I said, I only die once. We pretty much destroy these kids. But let's talk a little bit about my class setup. So I'm using a silenced ACR with an MP9 as my secondary weapon. I'm using the Semtex and concussion grenade duo, as I always will. I don't really switch that one up too much. But in my perk slots, I'm using perk 1, I'm using sleight of hand. In my perk slot 2, I am using hardline so that I can get my specialist bonuses kill earlier. In perk 3, I'm using Stalker because, like I said earlier, Stalker is ridiculously helpful on this map. It will get you so many kills that you should not have gotten, and I really recommend that you guys use that. But let's talk about what I have as my specialist bonuses. As you guys can see in the bottom right, I have quick draw first. Quick draw is really helpful whenever you're trying to throw grenades, and especially your stun grenades, like I mentioned earlier. It's a lot quicker of a release time. Throwing stun grenades without quick draw on is ridiculously slow, and it's not very fun whenever you die when you're chucking one and then you're trying to pull out your gun. But in specialist slot 2, I have assassin. I don't like being seen on radar, obviously. I like being a sneaky beaver and circling the outsides of the map and picking up the free and easy kills. And in perk slot 3, I have scavenger, and that's because sometimes on this map it's really hard to hit all your shots. So a lot of the times you're going to be having people weak at the end of alleyways. And I'm going to cut myself off here instead I get a quad right here. Quad feed. But like I said, you're going to be missing some shots down the alleyways and you're going to run out of bullets before you get your specialist bonus sometime. But I hope that this has been helpful towards you guys. Check out my one on Dome if you didn't and you missed it. But I appreciate you guys watching my video. Show a like for your support and follow me on Twitter at Apex_Scump. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.